Have no fear. The evolution of money is here. And guess what, world? I got a special guest with me. A special guest with me. The one and only. The Miss 334 Per XRP herself. Esoteric Trading Solutions, 𝕊𝕚𝕟𝕚 in the building. And she's looking like $1 million.
Oh, thanks, darling.
Yeah, $1 million.
Oh, thank you, darling. I love it. You're so vague. Oh, no, I'm not playing at all. Thank you, darling. Yeah, well, I had a big birthday, 60, last November. God, tell you what, something changes when you turn 60. You're like, hey, man, I thought I was going to be dead at 35 or 50 or something. And it's a great time period in your life because, like I said to you earlier, Joseph, you just get rid of all the garbology in your life, people that don't stack up or they're not great friends or they're really selfish or,
well, I can tell you one thing,
all this
so
garbology, man. It's awesome.
look about 20 years younger than when I seen you last time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess, you interviewed me years ago and I was really a bit depressed. I was really down. Things weren't going well. And, then my cats died. They were 18 and I just loved my cats so much, and I still cry about my cats every day. That's how close my animals got to me, like they were 18 and I had them from babies and they were like my babies, and I love animals. And I love Twitter because you get all these animal photos, and I just love it. I click on everything and go, it just makes me happy, man.
Yeah,
like your show makes me happy.
I know exactly what you mean because I've had my dog for 15 years, and that's my buddy.
Take some photos of him, please, and put them on Twitter because I'm really into animal photos,
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Makes me happy.
Me too.
It gives me serotonin, it buzzes me up. And I really like your show, I have to say, because I love the whole, it's very entertaining and it's very talented, the way you do everything. It's almost like a crypto, I don't know what you call it, a crypto disc jockey, or what do you call it over there? A crypto DJ with great music.
We got Sue coming in all the way from Australia.
Yeah, I love your show, man. It's like, there's so many YouTubers out there, I've got to tell you, in this space that just are so boring and there's nothing there to sort of, hook you in. But I really like your show because I find it relaxing. It's funny. When I feel a bit down, it's really, it's a happy family and it's just awesome. I love your show.
And I love appreciate that.
You do your clips, your rap clips. The rap is good. Now, I didn't even like rap, because I'm not that generation. But I do like the rap that you play. I think the guys and that you have on there are really quite talented.
Bam.
And I like to put everything together. So I think it's for you, but it's probably Hodl Model too. She does a great job. I love her name. Hodl Model.
Did you hear that Hodl Model?
I met her years ago, a long time ago, but I remember her being.
Yeah, you did meet her years ago. She said you're doing a great job and you look good, Hodl Model.
Yeah, Hodl Model's gorgeous, man. A gorgeous looking woman. Yeah, lovely.
You see how good Sue's looking? Sue's looking like $1 million.
But I am 60, baby. I'm telling you, I've got the grey hair at the moment because I haven't had time to dye my hair. I didn't want to look too old. But I'm 60. But 60 is great. People in the world are ageist. They think that you're over the top. You're all old when you're 60. But like I do go out, and sometimes I have young men trying to pick me up, 40-year-olds or something.
I bet.
And I'm saying, look, darling, I'm in a relationship, but also, darling, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm about 20 years older than you, and you're like a son to me, a child. It's embarrassing, and it's really embarrassing when you have to tell people how old you are sometimes.
You just broke hearts. So you just broke hearts all the way from Australia all the way to the USA, saying that you're in a relationship because all the guys said, "Oh." You broke a lot of hearts right now. So
I remember on your YouTube you did with me once, you're talking about a guy called Crypto Trucker or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Crypto Trucker. Yeah, he was like Sue.
It was so funny.
Yeah, you remember that Hodl Model, Crypto Trucker?
Hi, Crypto Trucker. I hope you're there.
Yeah, he loves
I mean, I
Sue.
really love those names,
He was like,
that we
Sue's
have
the
in
most
this
beautiful
market.
woman I ever seen in my life.
Hmm?
He said Sue was the most beautiful woman he ever seen. He was like,
Oh,
he
no,
was in
no,
love. He was in
no.
love all the way.
And I got a big attitude, man. When I was younger, working in banks and finance, they always told me what an attitude I had because I was a female. You got an attitude. But, if you're a guy in banking, they just go, oh, man, you're being assertive. You're doing the right thing. But if you're a woman with an opinion,
Yeah.
whoa, you got an attitude, baby.
How long was you in
Seriously.
the banking business for?
Oh, 40 years, babe.
Whoa.
I worked everywhere, everywhere. Morgan Stanley, Citibank, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, which is now a client of Ripple's. It's huge, people.
What bank is
Huge.
that?
Commonwealth Bank of Australia, the largest bank in Australia, one of the four majors. We're a population of 25 million in Australia. But the banking system in Australia, the four majors, it's a very, very profitable business. The banks in Australia, and it's hard to believe, make over $10 billion a year in profit. So you got the four major banks, Commonwealth Bank, which is a client of Ripple, has been using XRPL for years, since 2014.
Wow.
Now they're doing it live. Those guys do the largest foreign currency trading in the world. The
Whoa.
Commonwealth Bank of Australia does about 3 trillion in turnover in foreign currency trading every day, right? We're talking massive amounts of money here. And they also do bonds and all sorts of things, right? Everything. And if they're using XRP, this is just huge, right? This client is huge. And they know everything about XRP since 2014. They're the biggest bank, they're the biggest traders, they issue bonds and everything, right? And they do massive amounts of foreign exchange. I mean, the thing is, when we were all kids years ago, when I was a kid, that's a long time ago, but at 5, the Commonwealth Bank of Australia used to be owned by the government. So
Oh, for real.
every person in Australia, right, kids and everything, we all had a bank account, like a savings account from the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. So, the population 25 mil, I would say, golly, 85% would have a bank account with the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. This is a huge bank. And, globally, Australian banks are very profitable and very well run. They have very high credit ratings from
Wow.
Standard of AA minus, right? And there's not many banks, the higher rating that are AAA anymore. I mean, Deutsche Bank used to be a AAA,
Okay.
which is Germany, and now it's, literally on the bottom investment grade, triple B minus, because their profitability has gone down, down, down.
Wow. What's the rating of Commonwealth Bank?
Yeah, Commonwealth Bank is a very strong rating, and so is NAB, National Australia Bank, the same, AA minus, very profitable businesses.
Double A
And
minus. Whoa.
now, yeah, NAB's now using XRP, right? I mean, this is huge, huge, huge. And as you said, Joseph, you said the other day, JP Morgan are now using XRP via a client, right?
Yeah,
One
that's the
of
one
her
you was telling me
clients.
about before the stream that I didn't even see.
Yeah,
Where's that
that's
at? Let
huge,
me see.
man.
I know I
Tell your
pulled it
clients
up in
to think
here.
about that. That's a big story. JP Morgan is the biggest bank in America, besides the Bank of Mellon, right?
Here it is right
Um,
here. Ripple partner and JP Morgan joined forces in the
oh,
UAE. Here's
yeah,
this.
United Emirates, where it's called. Yeah,
Oh, United Emirates.
yeah, yeah. It's in. I think it's Dubai, the Middle East. But they have a lot of money over there. I mean, look at the World Soccer. I think that's Qatar, which is near all that. They've spent, apparently, for the spending of the soccer, the Qatarians, they spell it Qatar as a country. It's just weird. I kept saying
Okay.
quarter, but it ain't. It's called Qatar. And those guys spent about 195, was it million or billion? I can't remember, million. I think it was 195 million on the games.
Whoa.
Whereas years ago, people used to spend 15 to 20 million. But, they expect to make a shitload out of soccer, because soccer's the most well-watched game in the world. Like 5.8 billion people watch it. The Middle East is very wealthy, very wealthy.
Yeah, I seen a show on them last night, but I don't want to get off track. But so you said the Commonwealth Bank already announced a partnership with Ripple in Australia?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
if you can just bear with me 1 second, Sil. Just bear with me 1 second, Sil. I apologize. Guys, I'd like to welcome everybody to the best way to start the day with the Bullish Family. Today I got a special guest, Esoteric Trading Solutions, a.k.a. Crypto Granny.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Over 40 years experience.
Actually, nervous coming here today.
Over 40 years banking experience, guys. Used Swift, worked at all the biggest banks. She's also famous. This video actually went viral last time I had her on the show. XRP valuation.
I didn't even know what viral meant. There you go.
$334 per XRP. And I asked her before the live stream, I said, Crypto Granny, do you still believe that XRP has that potential? And she was like, hell yeah.
It's still too, like my, I've done valuations, and I do valuations quite a lot on different coins with different models, because there's all different types of valuation models depending on the cryptocurrency, because not all cryptocurrency is the same. Bitcoin's not the same as XRP, for example. So you have to use a different valuation model for Bitcoin compared to XRP.
Okay.
XRP is amazing because people don't understand that when, I said this to you ages ago too, Joseph, but when you use XRP and the technology of XRP as a client, like the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, they would have to pay XRP Ripple millions of money in technology. And the fact that the big banks like Australia, like the CBA has so many branches everywhere all over the country and even overseas in the UK and everything.
Okay.
They use a new technology, which is XRP, or whatever it might be. It costs a fortune for these banks to get that technology. They would be paying Ripple millions for that technology, because it goes back to, if you use XRP, you save 65% in fee, rather than if you're using just foreign exchange. Okay, fees on the bottom line, which means if your costs go down by 65% because you're using RippleNet, that's like 65 cents I give you back, Joseph, right? I give you physically that back, and that adds to your bank account, your revenue, your earnings, right?
Big time.
Because your costs have gone down. It's like if you were using Patreon, right, which a lot of us use, which is just a system where you can put in all your content and everything. And yeah, people pay a subscription. They might pay, $50 a month. But Patreon, because it's not on blockchain or RippleNet or anything else, they charge me 25% in costs.
Whoa.
So say I get $50 from you, 25% of that, whatever it is, half is $25, another half is $13.
They take 25%.
They take $13 out of me. And then there's also the currency conversion from US to Aussie. They take another $5 out of me, right? So when I get the $50, they take out 30 and I'm left with 20.
Whoa.
You see what I'm saying?
So digital assets is really changing. Digital assets is really changing the system.
Absolutely, man. So, but if I use XRP as a system and a content system, which I think they're going to that as well, XRP, the ledger can transfer anything. If you read Ripple years ago, they could transfer coins, physical coins. They could transfer gold. They could transfer artwork on that system. They can transfer any asset on the XRPL system. But and you know what the cost would be, even if I do 50 million, which God forbid, I don't have 50 million, but if I did 50 million, to put it in perspective, the most XRP is going to charge me is about $1.20 US. But if I'm trying to get $50 from Patreon, because one of my clients on Patreon has paid me $50, Patreon's going to take at least $25 out of me.
Wow.
And I'll give you another example, PayPal, right? I hate PayPal. I get money through PayPal. Every time I get money through PayPal and I convert from US dollars to Aussie, PayPal take out about 4 or 5%. So I have $100 US and I convert it. These guys are taking out about $20 a transaction.
Good Lord.
XRP costs you nothing. So the point is, if a big bank like the CBA, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, uses XRP and RippleNet, they're getting back 65 cents in the dollar because they're not using foreign currency anymore because there's wide spreads and they're volatile and we don't know when they're going to settle. It's, today I do a currency deal. It might take 2 days because we're waiting for SWIFT, which is a pain in the proverbial.
So they announced a partnership with the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. Does that mean they're using on-demand liquidity, or there's just a partnership, a proof of concept going on behind the scenes? What do you think they got?
Bank, see, this is the problem with the market, right? And the crypto market doesn't define this. Partnership is very different to a client. So Commonwealth Bank is actually a client of Ripple's, which means they're a client. They pay Ripple for the technology, the amazing technology that Ripple has. So if I can get any asset and convert it to cash within 3 seconds. So if I use foreign exchange through SWIFT, which is actually called pain, as you know, Lizzie told you, the system's called pain, and it is painful, and it's clunky, and it's 73, and it's a friggin' nightmare.
Yeah, that's a joke your buddy was just saying too, right? They call SWIFT the pain system?
Absolutely.
It's called what, pain point 1, pain point 2, you were saying?
Yeah, that's it. That's what the messaging system starts with. You're absolutely right. It's an inside joke in technology of people that do settlement side.
Wow,
the messaging system, you start it with pain 1, and then you say whatever you want to say, right? It's a messaging system. It seriously is painful. And the point is, it doesn't convert. If I do currency, it doesn't convert it to cash right now, instantly, like at that XRP. So think about this. If the Commonwealth Bank that does trillions of dollars in foreign currency, every time they do trillions of dollars, if they use foreign currency and not XRPL or RippleNet system, they're paying out 65 cents out of their revenue for every foreign currency deal they do. If they go to XRP, all of a sudden they've got that 65 cents in cost back to them.
Exactly.
So they've got more money, right?
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Now, the point is, people need to understand this. Ripple technology is not for free. Think about it. You're the client. I'm Ripple. I'm saying to you, Joseph, in your business every month, if you settle through us and all the currency and whatever, I'm saying to you, you used to only have 35 cents a month out of all your costs and revenue, right? That's all the income you got.
Okay.
And I'm saying to you, Joseph, I'm going to give you back 65 cents.
Buy more XRP.
65 and 35 is what, $1? You're earning $1 every month rather than 35 cents using foreign exchange and SWIFT, which is a pain. The point is,
literally,
I'm me, CBA. I'm not going to give you that system for free. What that's worth a shitload. Think about it. Every day, every year, every month, and it's turning over and turning over and turning over. One XRP just doesn't stay one XRP, in someone's hand. It's turning over and turning over and
constantly.
turning. So I've said to you and everyone out there, big corporates or me, Ripple XRP and the technology is for everyone. It's not a banking coin. All these years it came out 5 years ago and said it's a banking coin. We all have a settlement problem. And what I mean by that simply is I go to work. I work for someone. My boss says to me on Friday, I might work in a gym or whatever, and I used to. My boss says to me on Friday, Susie, I paid you $150. I've just sent the money through from the bank on Friday. And I go, oh, great. And I'm waiting. No money. This is the banking system in Australia without RippleNet. I'm waiting on Saturday. I'm thinking, crikey, I need to buy some food for my cats. This used to happen to me.
Wow.
I didn't have any money. I had $5 and I'm waiting for $150. I've been seriously poor, man. 5 or 6 years. Really bad.
So do you see a difference
I'm waiting for my money, man.
Okay.
Sunday, no money. 2 days, 3 days. Monday, I'm looking in my bank account. Where's the friggin' money? I've been living on bread and water for the weekend. And my cats on, old food they can't, and they won't eat it. Once you put it out, they won't eat it because they were spoiled. So by Tuesday morning, I'm looking in my bank account. The money still hasn't come through. Not until Tuesday late afternoon at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I'm starving. The shops are closing. I mean, this is the point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
painful system that the banks are using. They do hold on to your money for 3 or 4 days. You don't get it, but they've already got the benefit of that. Now, XRP gets rid of all that. My boss says to me, I paid you on Friday, Suze. I go, oh, thank you, darling. I look on my phone, and there she is. The XRP
Wow.
is there. I can convert it, and I can buy something.
So when did Ripple partner with so hold on. So basically since Ripple partnered, oh my God, I never realized this.
But, you know, the thing is, the market doesn't understand the difference between a partner and a client, Joseph.
Okay.
Commonwealth Bank
What's the
pays,
difference?
well, Commonwealth Bank pays Ripple for their technology.
Okay.
They're a buyer of their technology. So if I buy the best system for settlements in the world, which is RippleNet, I have to pay for it because it's giving me 65 cents benefit as income because all of a sudden my costs are reduced.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, a lot of sense.
So I'll give you an example. I use Swift, paying system. Paying, this is what CBA is doing very simply. I use Swift and my revenue line is $100 for the month.
Okay.
But because I use Swift and all the costs and all the delayed settlement and the market's moving, don't forget the market's moving, interest rate curves are moving, currencies going up and down, right? Because all those costs, me as Commonwealth Bank, I have to pay Swift, all the foreign exchange spreads and
Wow.
everything else. I have to pay 65 cents
Wow. Everybody
out
got
of
your
my
hand out.
revenue line of 100. Okay? So at the end of the month, my P&L, what I have in my hand, just like you get your money, what you have in your hand, in your account, is 35 cents. Because you've used Swift and it's cost a
Wow.
fortune. PayPal charges you 5%. And, you know, whereas Wise, again, is linked to blockchain. And I get my money straight away and I don't pay.
Exactly. Save a
Right?
ton of money. I got a
Exactly.
question on this
So
right here.
therefore, I have to pay, me as CBA, I have to pay you as Ripple because I need your technology because you are
Exactly.
getting more income every month. And that technology system of Ripples is the best in the world.
Bam.
Technology is expensive. For
Bam.
banks, they are long-winded. They take a long time, these contracts. A bank could put Ripple's technology on for 25 years
Bam. Y'all
and
hear
pay
that, guys? I got a special
25
guest
years
here.
and
Esoteric
pay
Trading
Ripple,
Solutions.
pay
40,
Ripple not just
40
20
years of
years.
banking experience. I'm sorry, Sue. Go ahead.
Yeah, go baby. But not just, pay XRP 25 million for the technology. Think about it. For every $100 I write in business, I get 65 cents back
Whoa.
if I use Ripple rather than Swift.
That's unheard of.
You know what I'm trying to say here.
Oh, I know exactly what you're trying to say, loud
So,
and clear.
so all of a sudden, my $100, if I use Swift, I only get 35 cents. But if I use Ripple, I get 90 cents.
Whoa, 90 cent.
Right? Think about it. Me as the bank, Commonwealth Bank, the client. So I have to pay Ripple for those savings and the technology.
That's
Without
amazing.
Ripple, without Ripple, I could not have got back the 65 cents, which the old geriatric Swift, painful geriatrics, 1973, which was written in COBOL, which is a developer's, all that computer
Uh-huh.
coding technology, right? No one knows how to use Cobalt anymore. This is from 1973. This is about when I was born,
What,
like,
Cobalt? What's that, like an old system the banks
it's
used?
like, yeah, it's an old system and it's old coding. You know how sometimes you get something and you accidentally click on the internet screen and the right-hand side and you've got all this sort of writing and
Yeah, yeah.
all that. Well, that's coding. The coders code and they write code, right? That's what you
Oh,
call it.
okay. Yeah,
When that's up on the right-hand side of your screen, sometimes it comes up
yeah, that happens
accidentally.
to me all the time.
Yeah, well, that's coding. That's computer coding.
Oh, so that's how they
So,
access that.
it's like a computer language. People code, like a dollar might mean this or something. But you've got to do a computer coding course. You've got to be a technology coder to know
Yeah.
what. And I know a bit of coding, but
So
the
you
thing
you did kind of explain that you see clear benefits of Ripple partnership with the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. For everybody tuning in, guys, I actually got Sue tuning in right now from
is,
Amsterdam.
there's both things here, right? You
But my
know,
question is, Sue, is
yeah,
now with this partnership, I didn't really realize that this is 8 years ago. Like, whoa.
yeah, 2014. If you look at some of my older videos, way back when I was, doing this,
We got your channel
I
pulled up
mentioned,
too.
I spoke about Commonwealth Bank of Australia. I mean, I used to work with them, so I knew what was going
Oh, you used to
on.
work at Commonwealth Bank also?
Yeah, absolutely. Commonwealth
Wow.
Bank I worked for, yeah.
It says the
In
Commonwealth
Sydney.
Bank of Australia is on the verge of becoming one of the first banking institutions in the world to use Ripple Network and
It's
plans
smart.
to adopt the Ripple Network for payment settlements between its subsidiaries.
Yeah, they've got subsidiaries everywhere, companies they own,
So
like
my
companies that they
my
own.
question is as of right now, are they using on-demand liquidity? Because basically back in the
Yeah,
day it was X
they
current.
would use everything.
Oh, they're using everything: on-demand liquidity,
Absolutely.
XRP,
Yep.
ODL, everything.
Because let me explain. I don't think a lot of people, Joseph, understand on-demand liquidity.
No, don't break it down for me.
Okay, I don't think a lot of people understand. I'll make it really simple.
Okay.
Okay, think about if I didn't use XRP, say I didn't use XRP at all, but I used the technology of RippleNet.
Okay.
So I'm still using Swift. Me as Commonwealth Bank, I'm still settling all my foreign currency and money through Swift. So using Swift, like I said, remember the story I said I was waiting for my money and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get my cash for 3 or 4 days from the fiat banks, just the normal Swift banking system, which is shit. Excuse the French. Sorry, I shouldn't get in trouble by YouTube. So,
Oh, you'll be
you know,
okay.
I don't get the money for 4 days, and that's the normal Swift banking system, right? Which is no good to anyone because cash should be instant, just like an email, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Even if I decided as CBA, I'm only going to use their on-demand liquidity. The reason why I need it is because I still use Swift.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Now I'll tell you why. Because Swift is a messaging system. It's not a real-time settlement system. So in other words, they would still have the problem with me getting my money from the gym. I wouldn't get it for 3 or 4 days because they're not
Okay.
using XRP technology for the settlement. Okay, there's different functions within the XRP technology. Okay, they're
Okay.
not using XRP for settlement, they're using Swift for settlement. But Swift is like a horse and buggy. XRP technology is like what?
Oh,
What's the
okay. I see
most
what you
famous
mean.
car in the world? What's the most famous car? What's a car you'd really like?
Oh.
I don't know anything about cars, but you
Uh,
know,
I guess since it's crypto Lamborghini.
okay, there you go, Lamborghini. So, putting in perspective, the Lamborghini is XRP technology,
Bam.
and the horse and the cart, seriously, is Swift from 1973 when it started. And that's a long time ago. God, that's 50 odd years ago, man, or something.
I never looked at it
So,
like that. As
yeah,
far as
so
you're saying
it's
that
technology's dead, man.
they're still
Swift
using the
technology's
technology, but they're
dead.
still using Swift for settlement.
Yeah. 12,500 banks in the world use Swift, right? That's their client base, 12,500 banks, and the biggest banks in the world, all the biggest banks in America, like Bank of America, BNY Mellon, Citibank, Morgan Stanley, the whole lot. So if we come back to the CBA, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, and they don't use RippleNet for cash settling, where I can get it in 3 seconds, they're still using Swift. So when a dealer, and I'll give you an example of this, you're in America and I'm in Australia, you pay me some money. And I go, thank you very much, Joseph. You just gave me 100 US. But I'm in Australia. I need Aussie dollars, right?
Okay.
So so you do a transaction with me, say it's more than 100. But anyway, in the professional market, they will do a dealer sitting on the dealing room in the Commonwealth Bank will do a deal. You go, hey, I need to give Susie the US dollars, so you ring up the dealer and you go, hey,
Okay.
buy me US dollars, please, or, you've got US dollar deposit, you've got money US, but you need to buy US dollar, you need to give them US dollars, right? You do, because you're in the US, and you need to give me Australian. The US dollar is higher than the Australian dollar. So you
Okay.
go, I'm just doing this deal, Sue. I'm on the bank. I'm talking to the bank, CBA. I got to give them US dollars because I have US dollars, but I need to give you Aussie. Because I said, Joseph, I'm in Australia, I need Australian dollars, right? So you go, oh, yeah. Okay, I'm on the bank, I'm with the bank now. And say you owe me 120 Aussie, but that converts to 120 Aussie. Say, because your currency is higher than mine, right? That'd be high. Say 140 Aussie. So you go to the bank, hey, I got to pay Susie in Australia 140 Aussie. How do I do that? And you're talking to the dealer at CBA. He goes, right, Joe, so what you got to do is give me your US dollars. We will convert that to Aussie dollars, and then we'll send that to Susie's bank account, right? That's what this is through Swift.
Okay? Yeah, through Swift.
So, the guy gives you a rate, and you go, oh, yeah, that's a really great rate, whatever. I say the Australian dollar's at 67.85.
Okay.
But say it went down, which is in favor of you. So you end up, for 100 US, it's worth 140.
Okay.
So the dealer on the phone with CBA goes, okay, we've done that. That's the deal. You did the trade today. Say today is Wednesday.
Okay.
A normal foreign currency trade, normally a normal standard, used to be you ring the dealer today, do the deal, but the settlement date when I get the cash used to be 3 days later.
Whoa. That's
3
Saturday.
days.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, so I really need that money. I want to feed my cat.
I don't understand it. That's crazy. How can people even go for that?
I'm starving here. Because it's Swift and it's the old banking system and it's not real time and it doesn't settle.
But if the person sends the money,
you don't get it, darling. I don't get it for 3 or 4 days.
And I know that's the way it used to work. Yeah, you don't get it, but that's still really weird.
So now what they've done.
That's why one thing is, I don't think people really understand what crypto is as far as before I got in crypto, I didn't understand what real-time payments was. Like basically, like you said, if somebody sends a payment on a Wednesday, they're not going to get that till Friday, Saturday.
Wise is using blockchain. I go to you, hey, Joseph, I need my money. If you're a Wise,
prior to now, there was no currency settlement. There was no currency settlement at all. So you would wait forever for your money.
Yeah, with Wise, you do it straight away. I'm like, hey, man, I need that money. I get it straight away on Wise because it's connected to blockchain. But Ripple is the point. So coming back to ODL, I don't get my money for 3 days. 2 days now. 2 days.
So just that in itself is amazing. You get your money instantly.
So you lose your money's gone out of your account. And I'm like, hey, Joseph, I haven't sent the money and it's taking 2 days for me to get the money.
Yeah, where does the money go? Because when you send the money, it comes out, right? It comes out. So your money's just in transportation?
Yeah, well, it is. Exactly. Through the Swift system, which is the old horse and buggy.
So everybody touches that.
It's on the coach, you see, and it takes 2 days to get to me. But the Lamborghini, you see, which is RippleNet,
instantly.
I'm like, hey, Joseph, I need that 140, man. And you got the Lamborghini, you press a button, and I've got it in 3 seconds.
That's amazing right there.
So when we come to on-demand
liquidity, on demand.
Back to that. CBA, even though they don't use the settlement system of Ripple, you give me money and I get it straight away, like within 3 seconds if I use Wise or Ripple, it's taken them 2 days for me to get the money. Plus, I need to have an account with CBA or they need to have a credit limit or a counterparty limit with another bank.
Whoa,
now, say
okay.
If I don't have a bank account, say if I don't have a bank account with CBA, but you were using CBA in America because that's a big bank over there. But say if CBA doesn't exist in Australia, then I have to wait maybe half a day because that bank that you sent it from in America have to find my bank.
Of course, my bank.
Yeah, exactly. So I could have a small bank account with Suncorp that no one's ever heard of, Suncorp Bank.
So what would happen then? You would have to set up an account with this bank that they bank with or the settlement bank?
What happens is CBA have to find, like you said, a correspondent bank that deals with Suncorp. So say CBA don't deal with Suncorp. This is another problem with Swift. It's painful. Horse and buggy. All your money is sitting in your big bank in America. Let's call it Morgan Stanley for argument's sake.
Okay.
Right? And you wanted me I said to you, hey, Joseph, oh, no, we'll keep the CBA. It doesn't matter. CBA. I said, Joseph, my bank account's at Suncorp. It's a regional bank. Like you got regional banks in America. God knows. Mum and Pa, granny bank or whatever. Crypto granny bank. So you've sent the money to CBA. They've taken the money out. Now you're trying to send it to me in Australia, but I don't have a CBA account, bank account.
Okay.
So CBA that has your money converted to Aussie needs to find a correspondent bank that they can deal with to pass the money through to that correspondent bank, who can then pass that money through to me at Suncorp Metway, where my bank account sits.
That sounds like a scam. Because that sounds like a scam a little bit. As far as like, hold on, correspondent banks, you might not even have.
They all have, you know, the big banks all have credit limits, settlement limits with other big banks. They do their credit analysis. They make sure they're with big, safe banks. Some banks take on more risk, having the smaller regional banks.
Okay.
And all that stuff, right? But that's a business decision. But let's not get confused by this. So already we know, you know, if you go through the SWIFT horse and buggy system, just to do an FX trade through SWIFT, it's going to take 2 days for me to get my cash, my 140 Aussie.
Wow.
And you sold 100 US to buy 140 Aussie that I get. But if they don't have a correspondent bank, if I don't have a CBA bank account, like I said, I've got a Suncorp regional account, they have to find another bank that deals with Suncorp, so I get my money. And that could take another day. You see what I'm saying?
Wow, that's amazing.
So think about this. You bought you had 100 US dollars and you bought 140 Aussie to pay me. Now, normally that would take 2 days before I get it as a normal standard foreign currency transaction. Sometimes it could be longer depending on the amount and volume, right?
Okay.
I'm waiting for 2 days. But then your bank doesn't have a relationship with my bank in Australia. They don't have a relationship. They don't know who this bank is, Suncorp Metway. It's a small bank in Australia. Could be out in the bloody desert. Right? So they have to find another bank that does business.
That's crazy. That's almost hard to believe. I just can't believe it operates like that.
True. This is SWIFT.
That's insane.
SWIFT is only a messaging system. Another problem with SWIFT, right? You're in America doing the deal with a guy in America. You know, on the phone, the dealers do all the fun stuff, but then you have settlements team at the back of that. And with SWIFT, it's only a settlement people that have to put the trade through SWIFT.
Okay.
Settlement, you know, literally say Joseph sold US dollars.
So they have settlement people that watch for the transaction or something.
Absolutely.
And they put it through like the old time phone system thing where somebody plugs it and like, oh, okay, I'll connect you.
Everyone plugs it in, blah blah blah.
No way.
But no, this is true. So you're talking to the dealer, then the ticket goes, or it might get inputted at a front office level, but then there's a whole different process behind that.
Yeah.
You know, credit people, you know.
Exactly. So now we kind of see why they were fighting so hard against crypto. It was like putting a lot of people out of work.
Exactly. So what happens with the SWIFT system? You're in America. Your settlements people behind the bank are in America, and I'm in Australia. My settlements people in Australia.
Okay.
We're in a different time zone, and because SWIFT.
Oh yeah, the time zone thing.
Right. Your American settlement people need to be in front of the system, the terminal, just like we were trying to do on Twitter.
In America, they're not in front of that. They're watching TV.
Yeah, just like Twitter, right? We were trying to connect with the proper time because the hours are different. You're asleep, I'm awake, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to you on Twitter messaging. Well, SWIFT's the same thing on the settlement side. So say your settlements people are awake now, but mine aren't, then no one's going to pick up those SWIFT messages that, you know, you bought Aussie dollars to give to me.
And people are waiting on that.
Settlement. So they could miss that, right?
Yeah.
So the ticket doesn't get processed in SWIFT. So that takes a delay.
Big delay.
So, to cut a long story very short, let's talk about ODL. So a normal trade will take, as I said, transaction, 2 days for me to get the cash.
Okay.
But it's all these other issues where they don't know my bank because it's a small bank, they don't have a relationship with this bank. They also, because of the time difference between you and me, people physically have to sit like it's at the SWIFT terminal, like a computer.
That's insane.
And trade to go through to the Australian bank.
Now they said they were using Swift for 40. Like you said, you worked at a bank for 40 years, right?
40. Yeah. It's
So
terrible.
no,
It's
basically
a
with the
nightmare.
Swift system,
It's
how
a
could they sit there
nightmare
and use a system like that for so long and
because
nobody
the
not
banks
say
were
anything?
making, the problem is the banks are ripping so many fees out of everyone. Like
Okay.
it's
I mean,
such
was
a
that
push.
normal though? Is it like I guess my
Yeah,
question when you're at the bank
it's
and you're sending a
horrible.
transaction and it takes 3 days prior to Ripple or prior to crypto, was people questioning
Longer.
that or did that just seem normal?
It just seemed normal, sweet. I
Okay, it
mean,
just seemed normal.
you gotta
So
remember, the internet was something great, 1993, and this, RippleNet's technology is bigger than the internet. It's bigger than the internet.
bam,
And I
tell them
was
one more time,
around.
so
Ripple's technology and XRP is bigger than the internet, guys and girls.
mm,
I was around in 1993. I was a young chick, probably gorgeous then, I'm sure, but
still
not
gorgeous
now.
and young and beautiful.
93, right? I think America did it in 1992. You guys created it.
Matter
And
of
we
fact,
bought a bit
somebody
of
even in
that.
the comments, I'm sorry to interrupt you, so
Yeah.
somebody in the comments said that you should change your name back to Esoteric Trading Solutions because you're way too young and beautiful to,
Oh, thank you so
to be
much.
called
God, you've got
Crypto
some lovely
Granny.
clients.
I forget who
Man, are
that
you
was.
sure you're not? Hey, are you sure, Joseph, you're not paying them?
I think who was that hollow model that said she should change
Hey,
her name
darling,
back?
I got to
She's
get
too
a
young.
coat. It's weird. I got to just
Who
go
was
off
it?
the desk because I'm really cold. I have to grab my coat. It's freezing.
SITH is his name. His name is Sit and Sit or something. He said
Really?
you should change your name
18.
back. And also,
Really?
guys, huge shout out to everybody dropping super chat. I think I seen 6'8" in the building. And
Who was that?
Omar, who else? Omar, oh, you got a list?
Hey, look at this. I bought a
Yeah, make
coat
sure you keep the list
yesterday.
right down too, because we're gonna hook Sue up.
Look, Joseph, I bought a coat yesterday. America Today. What a great shop. And
No way.
you know how much it cost me this amazing coat? It's fully lined, man.
Oh, for real,
Fully
America
lined.
Today. Is that like a store or a brand?
Yeah, it's an American store in Amsterdam. This was only $35 for a warm coat. It
Oh,
was
in
amazing.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, America Today, $35.
Wow.
What
Okay,
a
in Amsterdam,
bargain.
it's called America Today. Wow, that's crazy. And you're
What a
an
bargain, I say. That was an amazing
amazing.
purchase.
Uh-oh. Oh,
But
now Sue,
anyway,
you looking even better now. Uh-oh. Look at Sue. Look at Sue. Back up,
I'm
everybody.
actually I'm actually cold. Anyway, getting back to ODL, right? Mm.
What about this also, this 334 prediction, Sue, of this price
Yeah, you'll
prediction?
talk about that. I have a lot to talk about. But I really want to finish the ODL thing so people can really
What?
understand.
Finish the ODL
So
thing for
very,
sure. And
yeah,
then I
very
want to
simply,
talk about that 334 also.
you bought the Aussie for me. You spent your US dollars, went out of your account, and I'm like still waiting for my money because I bank at Suncorp, and I just look in my bank account. I'm like, Joseph, where's the money, man? Where's the money? And he said, well, I did it, and they said it was going to settle. I did it on Wednesday. Here's the receipt, blah blah blah, and they said it was going to settle on Friday. And I'm like, all right, there's no money there, and I need the money to buy food.
Yeah.
So come, Saturday, there's still no money there. That's 3 days,
Mm.
4 days, right? And at the same time, the bank took your US dollars, the bank that you dealt with, right, for the transaction. So you've lost money for 4 days because
Yeah.
I still haven't got it. Now, think about Commonwealth Bank that you sold your US dollars, $100 for,
Yeah.
to 140 Aussie to give to me. It still hasn't hit my account, and it's taken, say, 4 days.
Mm.
This is where on-demand liquidity comes in from Ripple. I don't even need to use XRP.
Mm.
So what we've got here is a massive settlement difference. Aussie dollars was supposed to come to me within 2 days on Friday. I didn't get it.
Okay.
Now think about the exposure your bank's going to have. They've got your $100, right? They sold US dollars and they bought Aussie,
Okay.
right? But there's a currency fluctuation and an interest fluctuation. Say
Oh,
the
yeah.
interest rates go up and everything else, and there's 4 days. Say this was done, there's a FOMC meeting on the 13th and 14th of December. Say this was done on the 12th. I
Okay.
sold Aussie, you sold Aussie at 67 cents, and it was done on the 12th. But I haven't even got my money, and it's the 16th, and it's over the FOMC meeting.
Mm.
And say the FEC doesn't rate hike. What's going to happen is Aussie's gone up, US has gone down.
Oh.
But you sold Aussie at 67.5. Now, the fact is that I don't have my money. CBA has a settlement issue of 100, say it's $100 million, not just 100. 140, it doesn't matter. Whether it's millions, but let's just say it's million. 100 million, they've got $100 million settlement problem, right? Because your money came in, they've got to pay me, but they still have to fund for it's 140 million, sorry, but 100 million US. They still fund for those 4 days.
Wow.
They don't, they've got your money, which is a liability to them, and they haven't paid me. So they have exposure to the interest rate curve and to the currency curve.
Okay.
Around interest rate.
So you're saying that they might have the money already and they're still holding it or something?
Well, what happens is it will be in transit, like you said. It's in transit, but CBA still have a settlement issue because they never know when I'm going to get my money.
But even when, like, say prior with the SWIFT settlement, it's still, even when they say, okay, it's settlement, SWIFT's going to do the settlement, that still doesn't, the currency still doesn't land, though. It's basically, it's like the IOU's approved, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. And you've got a currency and an interest rate.
And then how would that work with the bank that, let's say, the Commonwealth Bank that you worked at? So they pay out the IOU because the money actually really didn't come. Now, how do they get their money back?
This is the thing. They're on the hook for that. That's why they need on-demand liquidity. They need 100 mil to be replaced from somewhere.
Where do they get the 100 mil from, though?
They borrow it from Ripple, ODL.
Okay, I'm talking about before on-demand liquidity and before that they was able to provide liquidity.
They have nothing. Through SWIFT, if they don't use ODL, they have to manage that risk. And it's real risk, real pricing risk for the currency moving like this. If the US don't rate rise this month, right? Aussie's going to go up and US is going to go down. But you ultimately sold Aussie against your US dollars at 67.
Okay.
And that's Commonwealth Bank's risk, right? Because it's not settling for 4 or 5 days. And we never know when it's going to settle through SWIFT, because if there's problems trying to find a correspondent bank, how does your bank pay me, and I'm some ℻𝕝𝕚, my cash may not settle for 8 days.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? And there's market risk in there, going up and down, up and down. CBA has to find $100 million, right? Just say it's 100 million, not 100, to pay me 140 mil.
Well, let's say it is 100 million,
They
though.
use
Say if they take 100 million, they got to pay out $100 million. Just think, like, how would they logically come back up with that money? Do they write the Fed? Do they call the Fed and say, oh, we just paid $100 million?
They can, but it's cheaper to go through ODL with
oh, yeah, I mean, well, I guess there's no reason to kind of question. I guess I was just curious how the banking process worked before ODL, like how opaque it was.
I really want people to understand this. It's like, because I do an FX transaction through SWIFT, and SWIFT is not a proper real-time payment system, it's a messaging system.
Okay.
So you don't know whether the person in the US at the SWIFT terminal is going to be there, or the person in Australia at the Australian terminal for SWIFT is going to be. That's a time delay in itself. And then I bank with a stupid little small bank in Australia that the Americans have never heard of. So your big bank has got problems trying to find my account. So okay. Is they don't, because of all these hiccups through SWIFT, all these problems, it's a pain system, and it's seriously. The bottom line is your bank never knows. They don't know now when my Aussie dollars is going to settle as cash because of all the hiccups. They can't find my bank. They don't know where the branch is. They don't have any relationship, with some called 𝕝𝕚𝕚 Bank, right? It's a problem. And because everyone, if you bring in another party, you're finding a correspondent bank. So you're the bank in the US. I got my own little bank, where my account is. They have to find another bank. Could be in Asia.
Wow, that's amazing.
Then someone in Asia has to sit in an Asian SWIFT terminal to accept the deal to pass it through to my bank so that I can get my Aussie dollars.
So
Now, the
people better
bottom
not send
line,
money to like okay, I can see Australia being a big deal.
and it
What
gets
if it's like
worse.
where they don't even
Middle
speak the
East,
same language?
man, it's worse than
You
that.
probably
It's
wouldn't
really
even never
bad.
get your money.
You know, exactly. The Middle East, right, don't even deal in Aussie dollars. And say if I was in the Middle East,
Oh, okay.
I
Middle
may
East don't
not
even
get my
deal in Aussie
money.
dollars.
I may
So
not get my money for 25 days, 30
so what's
days,
the middle?
right?
What currencies the Middle East normally deal with?
Oh, God. God, you got me there, babe. It depends where it is. I think, there's some really bad Middle Eastern country.
Oh well, don't say them because you
The
don't play like
the
that.
dinar,
Uh,
the dinar is I think the dinar is quatta. There's some really weird currencies, like there's the Israeli shekel. These are really, but you can imagine this is the point, right? The
wow,
Aussie dollar against the US is the fifth largest trading currency pair. But you're absolutely right, man. If you had to pay me Iranian or Israeli shekel from a US, you can understand how difficult this is going to be. This could take 30 days, right?
oh man, I
And
can
all
only
the time
imagine. I
gets
guess I guess
risk.
that's a silly
And
question
also,
anyway.
and
What?
also the bank that sold you the currency also has an exposure. And the point is, they never know when the cash is going to settle that they have to pay out.
That's
So think
crazy.
about it.
I can't
Think
believe
about it
that.
just like a normal person, right? Say for example, just think about yourself or anyone, right? I got to pay a bill. I got to pay a bill, and it's my mortgage, okay,
Okay.
on the 15th. And I've got everything worked out. I get paid on the 10th from my bank, my wage, and I know I've got to come up with $800 for my mortgage, or maybe 2,000 now because everything's gone up. So with all my money that I earn, I know I'll have on the 10th, well, the 10th of December, I'll have enough money to pay my mortgage on the 15th. But I've also put in that 140 that you owe me. And if I don't get the $140 to pay my mortgage, I can't pay my mortgage.
I'm gonna get a
Like,
knock at my door.
yeah, so would
She
I,
gonna
right?
send two big Aussie dudes
Yeah.
knocking at my door.
Well,
No, I'm just joking.
there's so many problems with Swift because
I
it's an
understand
old.
what you mean, though. There's big
It's
problems
going to
with
take.
them.
No one can tell me. No one, not even the bank knows that you dealt with how long it's going to take for me to get my 140 bucks.
Exactly, and that's the one biggest thing I was excited about
And that's where
cryptocurrency.
and that's where ODL comes in. It funds the difference
Yeah,
because
real
the
time
bank's on the
payments.
line. Yeah, the bank's on the line to pay me, and I'm still waiting. And if I'm in Australia, I could wait for 5 days. But if I was in the Middle East, like you said, these
You probably might not get it.
half of them I don't even know.
So we gotta talk
Um,
about this price
we're talking 30
evaluation.
days, man,
So we
and the
gotta talk.
bank's
Let's talk about this
a
money, Sil.
liability.
Let's talk money. Let's talk big
Okay,
dollars, Sil.
I am really, really bullish the cryptocurrency market. And anyone
Oh, I can
saying
tell. You know your
it's going to
stuff.
zero, and look, they're just
I learned a
stupid.
lot from talking to you. Now I
Yeah,
noticed your video right here from 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
that's stupid, man.
Whoa, this thing is up to
The
100.
internet,
This video, I didn't know your video
the
hit 100.
internet.
This video went viral, Sil.
Which one?
Your XRP valuation 334 $334 per
You know what?
XRP.
XRP should be the second or the third top. I'm bullish Bitcoin. I'm seriously bullish Binance, and I'm seriously bullish XRP. The fact that Ethereum is there is a friggin' joke.
Okay.
So many friggin'
So
problems.
Ethereum's a joke being in number two. How is that possible?
Because all the dickhead fund managers don't know anything about it. Okay? It's as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
It was still proof of work for so long. And people have to understand that proof of work in Bitcoin, in cryptocurrency technology, is old technology.
Yeah.
Started in 2008. What are we now? We're in 2022.
Okay, yeah. So even the
XRP,
Swift that Bitcoin's it's old. So
exactly, man.
so four
XRP, what
year
did you say the car you really like? XRP is
the one.
what it was a car, XRP, car Lamborghini, you said, right?
Yeah,
So the
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini is XRP. Swift is the horse and cart, and
Bam.
Bitcoin is probably, I don't know, give me an old car, that doesn't have all the technology and shit.
Mark Smart got it. The current financial system is
Maybe
beyond
a
a
Ford.
joke.
Bitcoin's the Holden, right? The
Yep,
Holden Ford or something, I don't know. But you get my drift here. I mean,
I'm
you
getting
know,
it.
And going back to 1993, I want to tell the story because, we're on the dealing desk. And in those days, if you were a trader, you got paid a shitload of money and, we're all probably a bit of arrogant and a bit stupid. And we tried to use this internet thing. We heard about this internet thing.
Okay.
And it came to the dealing room in 1993 or 1994. I can't remember.
Okay.
And we said, we're all 25 or 30.
It's
and we were
partying.
like, riggers, I'm not going to say it. What the F is this? And we're all got our little notebooks like this, writing down. This is amazing. www. Yeah, we had to write it like www.
Yeah, I think I remember them days. I was shocked.
And we all had a notebook like this, and we'd try to pull up Bloomberg or something, but you get one little dot wrong, and in 1994, the skepticism for the internet was just terrible. We all thought it was garbage.
Would you say the skepticism?
Massive. We all thought it was garbology because we're like, how can anyone remember?
Okay. Yeah, because they run the computers in the bank.
Yeah, HTTP. So no one in Australia for a long time didn't use the internet. It took about 5 years at least. I mean, it wasn't until really 1999, I remember this, my boss, when I was working at Schroders Asset Management, which is a big fund management company, 1999, I was in Sydney, and he said to me, have you ever heard of Google browser? This is 1999, I remember this. Because why I remember it is because he invested, his brother was a stockbroker and worked at Credit Suisse and told him to buy Google. And I think at the time it was like,
whoa.
I don't know.
Oh, he told him to buy Google, the stock, in 90.
Yeah, he told him to buy it in 1999, right?
Oh, 99.
And I'd never heard of Google. And I think it made him a multimillionaire, right? Because no one knew about it, but he had a stockbroker brother that told him about Google.
Oh.
So he's showing me the search engine. Yeah, this is back in the day when there was really old search engines, and they all went, and Google lasted, right? Like there was all different search engines like Netscape. I still remember Netscape. I always get it up with Netflix.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was other ones too, but I remember that was the first time I ever remember hearing about Google, 1999. And man, I didn't have any money, but I was young and just used to piss it up against a tree basically. I filed in those days, but this guy made himself millions and millions of dollars.
Millions.
And when he used Google, I realized, far out.
And that's what crypto is now. So people better take heed of this digital currency.
And I even did a timeline into my old videos about how long it will take to get crypto.
So tell us about the timeline, Sue, because that was my main question. Like 2 questions in one. I noticed you made this video in 2018.
It's happening, man. It's going to be
4 years.
You know what? It's going to be huge next year. I'm a believer. The Fed
next year.
Is just stupid. It's happening now, actually. The market's consolidating. I called a low on this market in June. I think when the Bitcoin was down at 15,000 or 16,000, I can't remember.
Okay.
People were still selling it down there. I don't care what people say in terms of, oh, it's going to go down to $5,000. It looks bad, There's no Bitcoin left, You know what? Even if Bitcoin went down to 5,000, I bought it 25,000. Do you think I'm going to sell? Look at the big picture. There's no Bitcoin left. This is another previous market, man. We need to talk about that. This market of crypto is so small, they should never allow people to be able to sell futures on it, options on it, and derivatives. Because as soon as it went to the professional market like CME, the main professional exchanges in New York, the equity exchanges, the futures exchanges, the professionals started selling Bitcoin futures.
Oh.
And what happens is, think about this, people. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. 19 million have been mined. 2 million might be lost. There is no physical Bitcoin left. None. Right? It will be a store of value because what happens is all the big fund managers keep selling futures, but futures don't give you ownership to the physical asset.
Exactly.
I remember watching your show the other day and you're confused between physical and the futures market. Let me explain that.
Okay.
Bitcoin, when I buy Bitcoin on the exchange, I put it on my wallet, I physically own Bitcoin. Okay, in my hardware wallet. I physically own the coin. And of that supply, as we know, there's only physically 21 million digital assets. this is really important, Joseph, to understand.
I'm all ears.
The derivatives market, which is the futures market, the options market, let's not get too fancy about it. I can buy on the derivatives market through the exchange or through any other exchange or the regulated centralized exchanges. I can buy or sell futures on Bitcoin. All it is, it's called a derivative because it's a derivation of the physical. So what it is you only need a small amount of cash to sell or buy a Bitcoin future.
Okay.
People use it to get more exposure. So I'll give an example. If I buy Bitcoin today, physical, where the Bitcoin price is 17,000, I have to pay out 17,000 US.
Okay.
And I own. But if I want to buy one future on the exchange just to get exposure to the movement of Bitcoin, and because I'm buying, I expect it to go up, I don't have to pay 17,000 for a future. I just need to put in $1,000 in a margin account and sell one future. And if it starts moving against me, I just put in another $1,000. That's margin. Whoa. Okay, leverage. But you see what I'm saying? Physically, I spent 17 grand, I own it. But on the derivative side, I only spent 2 grand, but I have exposure to the price change of Bitcoin.
Oh, okay.
Nothing else. I don't own it. Okay? So there's a big difference between the derivatives market that looks like it, smells like it, but it's not, because it's not physical supply of Bitcoin, which is 21 million. But the point is the derivatives market, which is controlled by the regulated exchanges and the non-regulated exchanges for crypto, as we know.
Okay.
You can issue as many derivatives as you like. Hundreds of millions. Think about it. So if every professional fund manager out there is selling Bitcoin futures, which looks and smells like the physical, but it's not, it's just the price move to drive it down. But they can issue 100 million or 200 million futures because the exchanges allow them to do it.
Okay.
You can see there's a problem here. Think about it. You've got people selling futures on one side, but they don't physically own the asset.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like me, right? I'll give you a really simple example of this. I grow apples. Okay? The apples are Bitcoin physical. And I grow 21 million apples.
Okay.
Okay? And that's Bitcoin physical. 19 million I sold, which is the mining, and we think there's 2 million apples left. Well, we think they are because some people lost them, whatever. Maybe they lost them. But either way, 19 million have been mined by the miners, and they were issued Bitcoin, and that's how new supply of Bitcoin gets into the system. Because when the miners get paid for their work, and that's why it's called a proof of work, in the computer, they mine Bitcoin.
So they're trying to eliminate the miners in the process with the future contracts, or?
Well, the thing is, what's happening here, very simply, the miners create physical apples.
Yeah.
Okay. Just think about a tree. The tree produces the apple. That's the tree is the miner giving me the apple to put into the market.
Okay.
Right. Physical, but we know my orchard can only grow 21 million apples.
Okay.
There's nothing else I can do to make it grow anymore. It's done, just like Bitcoin. Unless there's another coin, okay? But Bitcoin is 21 million and that's it. And my orchard can only generate, I can only grow 21 million because of the land, technology, and that's the limit. But on the other side, big centralized exchanges have created a product that looks like my apple. It smells like my apple, but it's not really my apple.
Okay.
Right? It's like a homograph or something, and they can produce as many of these things as they like.
Wow.
All of a sudden, I only have 2 million physical apples left that I'm going to sell you and everyone else for the enjoyment of the apple, which is the real thing. But, why are you going to buy, you're only going to buy something that looks like an apple.
But what happens when they settle the future? What happens when they settle the future contract? Do they have to? Is it the future contract is only a contract and there's never possession of a physical Bitcoin, or?
Bloody good question, baby. Excellent question, Joseph. Some futures contracts have physical delivery, and some don't.
Okay.
But most of the big futures, that's a really good question, mate.
Well, thank you. I feel smart now.
It's an excellent question. No, really, because in Australia, if you buy a future on the underlying physical of the apple,
Okay.
and I still have that I'm still at that position to expiry, I've got to physically buy the apple, right? I have to use all my cash to buy the apple, 17,000. But if it's non-physical delivery, where I can sell a future or buy a future, at the end when it expires, it's only cash difference between where I sold and where the real price is, right? That's the
Okay.
market. So, but the overall point I want you to walk away with is, if we talk about futures which smell and look like the physical of
They're
Bitcoin,
not.
which we've only got 2 million Bitcoin left. But in the futures market, we have hundreds of billions of dollars of short.
Okay.
Now,
Interesting.
to give you an idea about this, in the fiat market, we have, remember this, Ripple used to say, we have a massive problem to solve for the whole world. Settlement issue, where we can get our money straight away. That
Okay.
settlement issue is everyone. And it's a $300 trillion issue of physical bonds, shares,
Okay.
cash, physical cash, just like my apples. But on the derivative side, you know how much it is?
How much?
You're going to freak. 1.2 quadrillion.
Good God.
Think about the physical market of shares being 121 trillion. Think about our market being less than a trillion. Physical, 800, right? Think about the derivatives, the short derivatives on our market. What this means is a short squeeze.
Yeah.
Like in the 1950s, someone was selling silver futures. There was two guys that hold the physical apples, and there was a huge short squeeze because people kept selling. There was nothing left to sell.
So, but right now there's like a lot of people that are trying to get. So they're trying to get
straight up, man.
So, but as of right now, they're trying to get what Bitcoin future contracts regulated in the USA, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
they should. You know, the SEC and the regulators are so stupid. This market was so small.
But I thought you said futures is a bad thing for crypto.
They are massively. I'll give you an example in the bond market. You know, bonds, right? Just think of bonds, long-term deposit thing, right?
But they only do future contracts for Bitcoin, not in the USA, right? I don't think it's regulated.
They do Ethereum. They do it on. There's perpetual futures. There's all types. They do it on Ethereum, Solana, everything, right? That's why you see the futures. But to give you an example of this, the bond market, which has been around for 120 years or more in the US,
okay,
we're not allowed to use futures until probably about 20 years ago.
Wow.
This futures market, which is not the real market, it's like a image of the real market, an image of my real apple orchard. It's not. It just looks like and smells like it, but when you taste it, it's not.
But now, say for example, can't they calculate? Can they calculate how many future contracts they have out by maybe how much Bitcoin they may need? Because if you got, like you say, if you got $100 million in future contracts,
they release it all. They release all that data all the time.
Oh, for real.
But this is the point. Yeah, the derivatives market is going to blow up one day. Massively.
I guess that's my question now. You have a price prediction of $334 per XRP. I don't think I've ever heard you a price prediction of Bitcoin though. I'm kind of curious. Did you ever do a price evaluation of Bitcoin's potential?
A lot. Yeah, I think Bitcoin will lack scarcity. It's just so obvious, right? It's so obvious.
So how high do you think Bitcoin can go per Bitcoin?
You know what? In the next 10 years, it can go anywhere. If there's no supply, this is like on the equity market, right? You know how people, this is like gaming stock. You'll understand, right?
Okay.
Gaming stock, right? All the big players, like that Melbourne Capital that went down, that lost billions, they were short gaming stock with futures or short selling the stock they didn't own. They didn't physically own it.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah,
and all the retail guys and girls got out there and started buying gaming stock because it was a small float, tiny float of how many they had on issue.
But okay. So that was the problem. Basically, people jumped on futures.
Yeah, this
of the
big fund was
GameStop.
short, and it was short the underlying physical shares by
Ah,
1 million times. So when the physical shares started moving up, every cent those shares went up, Marlin Capital was short. They didn't own the stock. They were short. They kept losing money like that. And as this thing went to $500, they
for
just got buried. This is real money, man.
wow. For everybody
And,
tuning in, guys, I got Esoteric Trading Solutions, Sue,
no,
all the way from the down under.
I mean, look, I'm not trying to be a smart ass here. I really know my shit. I've worked in all markets, but there's going to be a massive short squeeze in the physical crypto market. There's only about 888 million market value. It's nothing. When you look at the derivatives on the other side, they're all short and wrong. I don't care whether Bitcoin goes down. Honestly, I will hold. If I bought Bitcoin at 25,000, I bought it at 17, I bought it at 16. If
Okay.
Bitcoin gets down to 5,000 or 4,000 or 2,000, I am just literally liquidating every asset I have and buying more. There is no
I'm with you on
time.
that. You hear that, guys? You heard it here first. Yeah, I remember when Bitcoin
No
dropped down to
time.
3,500, and I told everybody, you better get a Bitcoin. Like, yes, I am very bullish on
What happens when
XRP.
there's no supply in the world of one product? Think it's a no-brainer.
So,
You know,
are you saying $1 million per Bitcoin?
anything. Look, I think look, I've seen markets go beyond your very dreams. I mean, look at gaming stock. It was terrible. Had
So, a
no
million dollar per
fundamentals.
Bitcoin is a small price prediction for Bitcoin.
You know, yeah, it is. There's no supply, Joseph. No
No, I'm with you on
supply.
that.
Look at gaming
I mean, it
stock
hit
on the equity
70,000
market.
already per Bitcoin is insane.
Look,
My other
I've got
quick
it in my
question,
head a
my other,
minimum of 100,000 and then 250 and
oh,
over
100,000,
250.
250. Robert
Over
Hayes.
250, you don't know where this thing's going to go. You are never going to give up your physical Bitcoin.
Kartek Philly,
We're
thank you
talking
big
about,
time.
we're
Granny,
talking
oh,
about, think
Kartek
about
Philly
that.
with the
We're
super
talking
chat.
about 8 billion. Yeah, give Joseph some money. It's fantastic, guys. God.
Oh, no, no, Sue, actually, believe it or
Brilliant.
not, I got ℎ𝕝𝕟𝕣 writing all these down, and
I
uh,
hope I
and
hope
I'm
you're getting lots of money,
I'm gonna
Brian,
work
because
this out, man,
I
because I
love
don't
you to
want you
death.
sending nobody to my door. But I'm gonna
But
take care.
think about it.
I'm gonna take care of you, Sue. Kartek Philly says Granny gonna take us to the
No,
moon.
I don't want any money or anything. Hey, but think about it. There's 8 billion people in the world, Joseph. We just turned 8 billion people, right?
Yeah,
There reckon there's
eight
only about
billion.
300 million people using cryptocurrency now. There's 8 billion, right? Even if,
8 billion.
even if 25%, that's 2 billion. What do you think that's going to do to Bitcoin? There's only, even if there's 2 billion new users in the next 5, 10 years, which there will be, there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
Bitcoin. We're talking 2 million coins, and half of them could be lost. I mean, people lost them in computers and
I
they
think
threat
it's
their
more than
computers.
half is
Think
lost.
that.
I remember when I
People are
had crypto
mad.
Ari on the show, and she was saying how she lost some bitcoins. I think everybody
Everyone,
has a lost Bitcoin
I
story.
don't know how to put my makeup on, but there's no supply, right? You
Yeah.
know, there's no supply. It's like crab. We used to have in Australia lots of lobsters. Lobsters everywhere because it's a beautiful country. Lobsters. You know what? It's over the last 20 years. There's no lobsters left. We used to pay for a big lobster. God, $2.
How
Now
much a
you know
lobster now?
what? You can, thousands,
Whoa.
thousands,
Whoa.
thousands. And you know what? The Chinese will pay thousands and thousands when there's nothing left. And this is Bitcoin was the first. The technology of Bitcoin is unbelievable, right? But
That's the
like I said,
Satoshi. Yeah, Joe Katz, the real
in the
Satoshi.
you understand it. I mean, we understand, and I mean, Lizzie is a genius and stuff, but it is incredible the technology of Bitcoin. And like
Whoa.
I said, in cryptocurrency
I
land,
know you can feel that, Devon.
that's the
Incredible
sword, right?
technology.
It is, guys and girls. It's incredible, and I know what I'm talking about. I don't
Oh, I can tell,
muck
Sue.
around.
I learned from you today a lot already.
Yeah.
Sue,
But in saying that, Bitcoin's like the Ford or the Holden. But, Ripple is like what you say, the Lamborghini, man.
yeah, damn right. Sue, 4 years ago, four
Jason, you
years
can't get a
ago,
word, and I'm so sorry.
oh, no problem, Sue. I love it. I love it. You're the best. 4 years ago, you said XRP had a valuation of $334 per XRP. That was
Yep.
4 years ago.
Yep, it's even
Since
better now.
then, do you feel or have you had a chance to take another look at XRP?
Yeah, I sure have. I mean, I use two
Is your
different
valuation
valuation
still the
models.
same? Is it
No,
higher,
it's higher.
lower?
It's higher. I use two different valuation models for
Okay.
XRP because I've used many different models, but I wanted to make sure that I had integrity with my valuation models, right? And what I
Okay.
mean by that is, if you do a valuation with just one model, and the one model I used was discounted cash flow model, as you know, plus terminal value. Terminal value is how much is the business worth? If it's shares, we expect the business to be ongoing for the next 10, 20 years. What are they going to generate? You just don't sell technology with
Okay.
no value. So when I added up and did all my updates of all the data, and I look at probably 150 different contributions to the valuation, how many clients they got, how many wallets they got, how many, big clients they got, how many, like one of their
Yeah, because
clients
all the data would change since 2018 here.
changed massively. If we're talking about a bank, CBA has, oh man, millions of clients,
Mm.
20 million clients. There's a Thai bank they had 16 million clients. They're all Ripple's clients too. You know,
Wow. They're
valuation I got was about $1,240 with terminal value discounted cash flow recently, about 3 months ago. And I did
hold
another valuation.
up. Did y'all
I
hear
did,
that? Crypto OG.
I did another valuation
Did you say
just
$1,240?
$1,240. Yeah. There's no reason that XRP in my mind should be higher than Ethereum. And I hate Ethereum. Absolutely hate it. XRP can do everything, man. XRP can do ICOs. They can do NFTs,
Yeah, it can do
transfer
it
any
all.
assets.
It can do
They
it
can even
all.
transfer an elephant if they had to. System is set up to transfer any asset you want in the world, right? And to get cash straight away. Ethereum, the problems it's had, it's a dog, and they're losing ICOs every day. They're too expensive. I don't like Ethereum. I never have. I hate Ethereum Classic. The fact that it's at $35 and Ethereum's at $12.50 or something. Again, I spoke to you about this ages ago.
Yeah.
Remember I spoke to you ages ago about Neo was at $53 and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
EOS, which I can't stand. They're both dead as far as I'm concerned. They're not blue chip cryptocurrency coins. Well, I was selling those at $53 for Neo, and EOS was at $26 4 or 5 years ago, and
Yeah.
XRP was still at 60 cents.
I know
It's
that all
got the
makes sense.
goods, man, and all this other garbage was running so high, and Neo only had 6 nodes, no security whatsoever. I can't. And they go to me, then all the butters out there go, oh, XRP it's not decentralized, it's centralized. Give me a goddamn break. They've got over 1,000 nodes and they only own 3 of them now. I mean, these people don't know what they're talking about.
Bam. And
But
Sue
yet they're happy
does.
to go and buy Neo at $53. Oh, but XRP at 40 cents, whatever it is, right?
Especially
Oh,
with
we're going to keep going.
your whole
You know, the,
valuation model. Guys, you got to check out Sue's video, guys.
man,
XRP
I,
valuation
I don't want to be,
334
I
per
really don't want to
XRP.
sound arrogant, but think about it this way, very simply. You have the Lamborghini of cars in technology payment systems. And what
Yeah.
are people paying? 35 to 40 cents? When you've got other companies in the world like Apple, which I'm actively selling because it's old technology, and it's still running at 144 US dollars. Give me a break.
Mm.
These are old technology companies now. Google's old technology companies. Ripple is the new technology company on the block. And when they
Mm.
IPO in the share market, do you think it's going to sit at 35 cents? Give me a break.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. That's the main theme of today's show. Excuse me. Make
People are
sure you
silly,
guys
baby.
subscribe to Sue. Like Josh right here said, subscribe to Sue. And I actually just put Sue's
I
YouTube
mean,
link.
darling, you get it. You're a smart guy. You get it. You and your partner get it, man.
Oh, yeah. And I got the most mature family in crypto right here, the Bulls family. You see, they love you, Sue. They're like,
And
oh,
I
Sue, we love
love your
you.
show. Your show makes me happy, Joseph. It makes me laugh and it
I'm so
makes me
happy
very
for
happy.
that.
And I love it. And
And
I
I
think you
put
do
your, and
a
here's,
great job, you and your wife. I really love it.
oh, we love you too, Sue. You're the
And
best.
actually, one day, we've been sitting, me and my partner were sitting, and we want to just come on one day and like give you 500 US or something and shock the shit out of you.
Oh, no problem, Sue.
You've been worth it, man.
One day XRP is going to take off, and we're going to be able to do all kind of stuff for each other.
You're
That's for
worth it.
sure. So we're
Yeah.
on a journey right now. Don't do nothing
I'm
like
really
that right
impressed
now.
with your show, man. I love your show. But I would like to see a dog more. I love animals. You know that.
I know. I was thinking about getting a doggy cam where he'd be
Bring
like
in
on
the dog.
camera.
I want to see people's. You know how much I love the dog.
I'm
And
surprised he's
does
not
it still
here.
wear the bandana around its neck?
Yeah, yeah, of course. That's his trademark.
That's so cool,
Yeah, I get
man.
him new bandanas all the time.
Yeah, come on, bring him on the. I want to see him.
I know. That's a good
Bring him
idea.
on.
That's a good
You love
idea.
pickles. Can't you feed him or something and show us? You know, can he do any? Can
Pickle
he do any?
dog. Pickle.
Sit him on your lap or something? Come on, I love animals. It gives me a lot of happiness. It makes me happy, man. It makes me
Yes,
high. I
Sue is the
like it.
best. Yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, Sue does love animals. I know. Me too. I rescued
You
him
know,
like
I
15
love
years
animals
ago.
more than people, man. Animals always treat you well.
Yeah,
I
dogs are
love animals
amazing.
so much.
Dogs are amazing. Cats are amazing too. A lot of cat people, dogs
I
people.
love cats too. I love all animals. I want everything. I want an animal. I'd love a pet of anything, really. I love animals. I love
Pure
animals.
energy. Yeah, Sue got all the energy. Guys, here's the thing. Sue has a
I'm
YouTube
an old
channel,
bag.
Crypto Granny.
Hey, you know how I got the name Crypto Granny?
Oh yeah,
I
we're,
you
we're
know
curious
this,
about
eh?
that, Sue. Why did you decide to go from esoteric?
Because I was talking about one thing, and that's why I turned off the comments on my YouTube because I can't stand trolls and I get upset. I'm sensitive, you know, and I'm excitable and I'm half Turkish. And, you know, if, you know, I can get 100 good, you know, yeah, you're great. And then I can get one person to just upset me and say the worst, horrible things in the world. And I just don't want to read that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you get guys that are really misogynist and go, "Ooh, you should be in the kitchen and this shit." I don't want to read that stuff. It really upsets me. And
Yeah, I
that's why I turn
understand that.
it off, right? Because otherwise, I won't put the comments on because I just get one bad one and it just upsets me. I'm just not that sort of person, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't imagine people being so cruel and so horrible. And like when they sent you to Swell, I was horrified, man.
I
No,
was talking
Fennecum,
about somebody
I
that last
would
night.
not believe there'd be such assholes out there that
Yeah,
would do it to such a kind and lovely person like you, man.
I
It
know.
just
I was
really
shocked
upset me, man.
myself. I can
I
tell you one
really,
thing about
I was
social
really
media.
upset about that.
Yeah, there's some. It's. I guess like
It's
my first year in social
trying to help
media.
people.
Yeah, my
And what
first
do
year
they
in
do?
my first year in social media, I learned quick that trolls are real. Trolls are real. They just,
It's so cruel.
they thrive off of that. They thrive off of bringing people down,
And
and
they can make people suicide and everything. They don't understand what they do. I've known of people suiciding because of stuff like that, bullying, and it's the same, in schools these days. It's terrible.
yeah, it's
And you know
not
what?
right at all.
I just don't, and that's why I don't have the comments on. I just don't want to be affected by those awful people.
So you change your name to
Life's
Crypto
hard enough.
Granny because
Yeah.
maybe you're
Anyway,
thinking if they
oh,
say Granny, then
because I
maybe they won't mess with
because
you, or
I had the comments on, and this guy called me, "Oh, what do you know, you old crypto granny?" And with no disrespect, the guy was really racist, really misogynistic. He was from, I'll give you that. He was from the country that starts with I, but I don't want to.
well, no, I don't. It don't matter where he's from. I'm not gonna give him no.
And he said, "You just an old crypto granny." And I thought, well, I'm not going to have it out for this guy because he's clearly an idiot.
It's gotta be.
I thought, yeah, I'm happy to be called a crypto granny. I'm old enough. I'm fine. I love my age.
Yeah.
Just because he's 30, he thinks I'm upset about getting older. No way, man. The world is so ageist, and yet older people have so many skills.
Yeah, wisdom.
No,
I love learning. I love
honestly,
mentors. I've had mentors
I,
my whole life.
exactly. And I lived through the bloody 80s, man. I mean, we had the biggest blast in the world. We had the biggest, best bands coming out of the US and Australia everywhere. We used to follow bands. We had so much freedom, man, in the 80s and the 90s. And God, we had fantastic times.
Yeah, it sounds like it so. It sounds
Honestly,
like
we
you're just
used to follow
partying.
bands, groupies. Some of the bands that came out. I mean, and I love music, any sort of music. America had some of the, best
Did you have a van back then in the 80s?
bands.
Oh, you did?
What was that? Or
Did you
what?
have a van in the 80s? One of them vans following
Oh
the, or
man,
maybe
the
the
guys did. I'm not
huh?
going to call them an F. That was huge in the 80s. I mean, there was a show called when I was growing up in Australia when I was about 15. There's a show called Puberty Blues in Australia. A huge hit when you were 15.
Puberty
it's
blues.
exactly what Australia was like, in the beach areas or in New South Wales or, at some of the beaches, right? We had so much freedom. We were all drinking at 15, smoking, doing everything. We went to live bands. We used to wag school, never go to school. I saw The Exorcist when I was about 15, the Linda Blair one. It was horrendous. The worst horror show I've ever seen, where her head was swiveling around. And now lame. It looks really lame, but in those days when I was 15, and you could only see it when you're 18, but you used to have licenses. You didn't have your photo on; they were paper licenses. So you could
Okay.
borrow someone, just remember the birth date. Yes, I'm 18. I was 15. It was with Linda Blair. It's called The Exorcist with a girlfriend. We were both 15, but we were at school, and it was the most scariest show I ever saw because she was floating off the bed, and it was huge. It scared a whole generation of people.
Oh, it scared the crap out of you.
It's
Yeah.
scary that we could do things like you could drive and drink, and we go overnight to Adelaide to just get a hamburger, and we'd be 10 of us in a car. I mean, the
Overnight
kids
to where? We say
say
red light.
Adelaide, which is like about 8 hours away, just for a hamburger, in another state. But we
Okay.
did so many things growing up. We had a blast, man. My generation's had a blast. Right up to 50, I was going out and boozing and having a blast, man.
For real.
We still the best of everything. Okay, we still had to pay for college, university. That was hard, but everyone didn't care. We got around in rags, and no one cared. And even ugly boys, got girlfriends. It was just seriously. But we had a great time, and we're still having a great time. My generation. I
Wow.
just don't like ages, baby, because
I was.
we've done much more than the kids of today. I mean, with COVID and everything, it's
We were
shocking.
talking about that movie. Wolf Creek is
Yeah,
from where you're from, right?
I've seen it, babe.
That was like a
It's
big thing in
scary.
Australia back in the day. The Wolf Creek thing.
Yeah, it's scary. A bloody oath, absolutely. There was another gang going to Adelaide too. Ivan Milat. If you drive from Melbourne to Adelaide at Adelaide City, you go through forest, and
Uh.
it's that from Melbourne to Adelaide, the town of Adelaide,
Okay.
which is South Australia. There was a forest there, and the Milat brothers were serial killers. I mean, we've had a fair share of serial killers,
I
and
don't think I've seen that. They got a
they're
movie about
fun, man.
that one
Yeah,
yet?
Ivan Milat, Ivan Milat, Milat.
Oh,
They
for
were the
real? Might check that
Adelaide.
out. You seen that, Jake
Yeah,
Hills?
no, it's real. Ivan Milat. Yeah, Ivan. That's his name, Ivan, and then
Okay.
Milat.
They came
He
out with
was
Wolf Creek too. Did you see Wolf Creek?
but this guy was worse, man. I mean, he
Oh,
used to
for
he
real? Worse
used
than the
to
guy from
people.
Wolf Creek? That guy was
Yeah, like
nuts.
the forest and everything. I mean, Adelaide, which is weird, it's South Australia, right? It's a small little city next door to Melbourne, like over the other side. There's only 1 million people there, but apparently they have the highest percent. I'm into serial killers too, by the way. I love it. Apparently, I don't know why I'm fascinated by it, but they had. Would you believe, Joseph, they had the highest percentage of serial killers in Adelaide out of the whole world? There's,
What?
there's something about Adelaide that breeds serial killers.
There's something in the water
South
over there or
Australia.
something. And that's
Um,
in Australia,
Man, it's in
right?
the water. It's in the water, man. Don't go camping in South Australia. I better not say too much, because then I'll have all the South Australians ring out. What are you talking about? Look, this serious.
Yeah, the Aussies. Yeah, they'll come out. The sides of the
But we
Aussies.
still have a lot of crime and violence. Out of a small country, we're out of the top 10 for crime and violence. America's the top. Then it's England. Then I think it's Canada, and then it's us. We have a
Oh, for
lot.
real? Well,
Yeah,
I
in
didn't know
Australia.
that.
Yeah, we have a lot.
I
Like,
got.
I've had people come in my backyard and everything, man. I mean, my cat saved me. I mean, in Amsterdam, Netherlands, there's hardly any crime. It feels so much safer to me here than there.
Oh, for real?
Australia's, Australia's a scary place, yeah.
I can't wait to come
You
out to
have to be really
Amsterdam. I
careful.
heard a lot of good things about that.
Adelaide, Amsterdam, you will love it, man.
Oh, I
Amsterdam's
bet. I
Amsterdam. I
bet.
love the Dutch.
I think
They're also
Amsterdam was trending before I even
it's
went
cool.
live. Sue, I got one more quick question. We gotta get
You
out of here in a few.
know, very quickly, the Dutch, apparently they're the biggest here for metaverse and cryptocurrency and everything. The Dutch
Okay.
is smart, man.
Wow. Sue, I got a
Yeah.
quick question before we're gonna get out of here in a few minutes still.
Yeah, sorry, Don. God, it's gone on for a while.
No,
Yeah.
no. I love it. Everything you said, I love it. I'm so glad that you made time for
Hey,
me
you got to
today.
come to Amsterdam. We would love you guys to come and visit us, and we'll take you
Oh,
out and everything.
2023, I'll be there.
No,
I'll be
seriously, you
there.
always said you would come over, and I'd love your wife and me to
Oh,
come over.
2023, that's my game plan is to really go a lot of
We
places.
can help you out. you could stay here a couple of days and we could
Oh,
show you around.
perfect. Yep, because I need to get to Amsterdam kind of bad.
I love young
So,
people. Love
Fr-
young people your age.
Fraser L says, now when 2040. So basically, you said you did a valuation, and I know it's like kind of hard to pinpoint these dates at all, but
Look,
when
this
2040.
SEC, oh man, look, I'm sick of the SEC. Really, they're a bunch of idiots. They've got no idea. They never talk about the technology of Ripple. They haven't got a
That's a good
clue.
point.
I think they're corrupt. Honestly, I really do.
That's
And
what everybody's saying.
it's just Ripple is not a security. They're not even talking about the technology. And originally, years ago, I actually thought Ripple was a security. But then I thought to myself, I started reading stuff, and you always said it was not a security. You were spot on, Joseph, by the
Oh yeah, I
way.
remember that back in the day. Oh
You
yeah, I
were
remember
spot on,
that.
man.
Yeah,
You
I
were
had you on the
right.
show
And
back
then
in
I
the
thought,
day.
well, you know what? If you're thinking that, I thought, I better look up, what am I missing here? And I think you even mentioned it to me. And I was like, God, I'm stupid. You said technology.
Yeah, yeah. Now that I
Technology.
recall, I think me and you had a debate about
And
that
I'm
on one
like,
of the
yeah,
shows. Like you were
and
bullish
I
on
was just
XRP,
totally
you liked
wrong.
it, but you kind
And
of
I'm
thought
like,
it may have fell under the
why
security. I
am I
forgot
thinking
about
it's
that.
security? You know? And then you said technology. It's technology. It's not a security.
It's technology. Yeah.
Man, and it was so obvious. And you said it so obviously, and I was too stupid to just think it's technology. I was completely wrong. It's not a security.
Liz
Complete.
Barnes. Is your friend named Liz or is it somebody else?
Liz Barnes, it's Elizabeth. She works in the business. She's a consultant advisory to this business.
Oh, okay.
She's
So Liz is your
banks.
one buddy, Liz.
Yeah, she's worked in the biggest banks globally everywhere.
Oh,
She was
for real.
coding. This was coding when she was 12.
Whoa.
She's a rocket scientist. She can produce anything. She's worked for ABN AMRO, ING banks, some of the biggest banks in the world.
Yeah, she was talking about
She
Swift too,
basically,
so she's familiar with Swift and the
she
systems.
knows a lot about Swift. And Lizzie's had to integrate, like a lot of the banks sometimes take over other banks, and she's had to integrate all the different technology platforms,
Wow.
right? And Lizzie knows Swift more than anyone. It's a nightmare. I know it from a user at the front office. She knows it from a coder in the front office, right back to the back office, middle office, and she talks to senior management. But her skill set is unbelievable in this business. We're working on some great stuff in this business. We're going to bring out an app, Joseph, as well, dear, which we'll
Oh,
talk
for
to.
real. Oh, let me pull your
You're the only
channel up
guy
too.
I'm going
Let
to
me
come to
see.
about that because I
Here's your
trust
YouTube
him.
channel, guys. Y'all have to do me a
I
huge
trust you.
favor. Everybody
Thank you.
out
I
there
really
watching,
trust you
and
with my life, and I love your wife. But I'll come to you about that next. It's going to be probably February of next year or March, but I will come to you about that.
oh,
But
that's gonna be
I'm not talking
perfect.
to anyone else. I only deal with people I really like and trust.
That's
And
what I'm talking about.
I love you and I trust you, man. And I only deal with people like that. That's why I don't do YouTubes for anyone else. I don't.
Thank you so
I'm
much, Sil. I'm
I'm
honored
very
that you came
loyal.
on. I'm
I'm a
so honored.
Scorpio. You're
I
very loyal.
love you too. I really appreciate it, guys.
I don't
I'm giving
I don't
everybody
float
homework.
around. I'm just a loyal person to one or two people. That's it.
I appreciate
I
that.
don't even do marketing. I don't get any money from selling stupid Amazon or anything like that. I'm really glad that you've done so well, you and your wife, and I want you to have all the success in the world because you deserve it, man.
Oh, I appreciate that
What
big
you
time.
know is amazing, like
Oh,
incredible.
it's really the supporters, the family. I mean, I think I was talking about that earlier
Technology is really hard to
in one of my
understand.
groups. Like it really has been life changing. I really appreciate everything everybody's done for me and Huddle Model.
And you come along, and your wife too. And I'm loving the fact that you guys work together. You can tell you work your guts out, and you deserve everything you get. And I'm wrapped
Oh, I
because you're a
appreciate it. I
young
love
guy,
you,
you're very
Sil. I
young.
love you, Sil.
You're in your 30s, and half the people, in Australia at 30, and they're still living at home with mum and dad and not even working. I mean, look what you achieved, man. Amazing,
And we're just
amazing.
getting started.
And if you were my son, darling, I'd be extremely proud of you.
Oh, you just melted my heart, Sil.
I would have loved a son.
You heard
That's
that,
probably
Team
why
Green?
I love young men, your age, because I would have loved. But anyway,
You heard that, Team Green? No, back up, Team Green. She already has some. She's taken Team Green.
have
She's
to be
Sue's
people
in a
are
relationship.
so critical. Just be nice to people for Christ's sake. Be nice to animals.
Exactly.
People don't have the tall poppy syndrome where people try and beat people down. Compliment people. I mean, people are so
Exactly. Oh yeah, tell Liz I love her name too. Liz, your friend Liz. I
Yeah, it's
love that
cool.
name, Liz. That's a good name. We also got a Liz in our stream. Shout out to
Oh,
Elizabeth in
cool.
our stream.
Beautiful name, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good
Elizabeth.
name.
And I think when they're younger, they get called Elizabeth or
Yeah,
there's a but there's a really
Liz,
cute name
Elizabeth.
they get.
I'm gonna name my
Yeah,
first daughter
Libby. I think
Elizabeth.
they get called Libby. Elizabeth's a beautiful name. I love it too.
Ain't that right,
Libby.
Huddle Model?
What's your wife's name? Lauren. That's a pretty name. I
Yeah,
love that name.
Lauren. Yep, aka the
Beautiful.
Huddle Model.
Yeah,
Guys,
well,
I'm
you don't want to
issuing
hold
bullish
her, man.
homework. Guys, here is Crypto
Georgia.
Granny's channel. Here's Crypto Granny's channel, guys. I'm going to give you all the link right now. Everybody
Oh, thanks,
has
Lauren.
to hit Crypto Granny's
Pleasure,
link.
man.
Subscribe to. I'll also pin it to the top right now. You guys got to check out Crypto Granny. But here's the video you guys got to see. She dropped yesterday.
Oh.
It's called XRP is not going to zero.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
Check that video out. And also,
That
guys, her
guy.
pinned video up here got 130,000 views 4 years
Okay.
ago. And I'm telling you guys, like when I say the valuation she does on XRP, like y'all see how she talks, right? Like, I mean, she takes it to the next level. This is XRP valuation, 334 per XRP. And she says that's small. The new evaluation is 1240.
It should be higher than Ethereum, guys and girls. Seriously, Ethereum's a dog, right? You know, I think going forward, it'll be Bitcoin, XRP, and bananas. You got to look at the bigger picture, right?
Mm.
These guys are geniuses. David Schwartz, a genius. My
Yeah,
God.
shout out to Dave
That's
Schwartz.
some-
D
Another
Rasta,
thing,
thank you big time. D Rasta.
technology's never had a hack. How many technologies have had hacks? Ethereum Classic, Neo, the whole lot. The technology, XRP's never had a hack.
Yeah, never no downtime, been running
Never.
24/7,
How can anyone
365.
say? You know, I remember years ago, Jason, they used to say, "Oh, it's a scam, it's fun." All those dickheads saying XRP
Oh yeah, I
is a
remember
scam.
that.
Oh yeah,
We had to
right.
go through all that.
What
Oh,
Bank of
XRP is a
Australia,
scam. I'm like,
you know, that
what?
makes $12 billion a year and employs 50,000 people and has assets of $1.3 trillion.
That kind of
And they
reminds me. I remember everybody
XRP,
was trolling the hell out of
right?
XRP. It was like, oh, XRP is a scam. And even the
Right,
biggest
they're idiots.
Bitcoiners was saying XRP was a
Idiots.
scam.
And it's only a banking coin.
Yeah, yeah. And
Like, are
now
you
they
an
talk
idiot, man?
about XRP.
I'm like, are you an idiot, man? Do you get your money straight away? Do you get it every 3 seconds? No. Well,
Exactly.
you're an idiot, man. And
And
that's
I,
what I do.
and I
I
actually
understand.
found this tweet from crypto. Uh, Esoteric Trading
Yeah.
Solutions. I like that
Yeah.
name too. Esoteric. Crypto
Isn't that
Granny.
something special, like something secretive? You got a great groovy community and you
Oh,
all
they're the
get each
best.
other.
I'm t-
It's all that sort of stuff. It's clandestine. It's sort of, you know, you have to be the right person, you know?
they're unbelievable. What would you?
Yeah.
How I was saying something about Gala Music Player. Are you in Australia or something? Gala Music. What
Gala
was we saying
music.
about? Oh, okay, Gala Music's in Alaska. Okay. We were talking about you earlier,
Oh
Gala
no,
Music.
darling, I don't know. Gala music. No, I don't know anything about Alaska and Gala music. I'm
No, there's
sorry.
somebody in the chat, but I did find this tweet on Sue's Twitter, guys. So I did put her Twitter in the description and her
Thank you,
YouTube
man.
channel. So make sure you guys follow her Twitter and her YouTube. And this is just her tweet. We pulled it off her page. XRP provides massive utility, and the
Seriously.
masterfully serves the purpose of payment facilitation. The value of XRP can finally be realized as adoption increases and usage goes live.
You know,
Unlike
I just
many
say to
other
people,
crypto projects that are
this.
based purely on speculation, Ripple has
You know,
proven
look where
utility.
Google got and Apple. Look at the highest price they ever got to. I think Google one stage got to $2,000 and Apple got over $1,000 a share. I'm saying Ripple XRP is the new technology.
Mm.
Google and Apple are dead. It's old technology. So if you don't believe me, just look at the prices where Google was trading at its all time when it was like huge. Check the stock market out. The prices are there.
Sue's right
You know,
on
nearly
point.
$2,000. You know, Apple was 1,000. They did stock splits to reduce the price.
We got another
Except
super chat too.
for
The conscious
Ripple,
cat. The
yeah,
conscious cat says, "Thank you, Sue.
Ripple's
Thank you, big
huge,
time for the
guys.
super
Don't
chat."
lose faith. I will never lose faith until I'm 100.
Bam.
More.
Thank you, Conscious Cat. I got a super chat for you, Sue.
The new tech company of the world, man. It's bigger than Google and Apple put together.
Bam,
Think about
tell
Apple.
them.
What has
Bigger
Tim
than
Cook
Google
done?
and
Hey,
Apple.
bigger than Google and Apple together. Anyway, I must go because I'm getting told by my partner.
Okay. The Conscious Cat, super chat before you go, Sue.
Yeah, darling.
It says, a super chat from Conscious Cat said, thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
And I heard that the XRP used on the private ledger is really XRPP and not the same being sold to the public. Any input on that? Have you ever heard of XRPP? That maybe institutions.
There's a lot. You got to understand something in a corporation, like even in technology. XRP has the capability to have a private ledger as well as a public one. The public ledger is what we see, but the private ledger could be for one of their clients that have actually asked for a private ledger.
Bam. There you go.
XRP can do that. I mean, they can have private ledgers, they can have public ledgers, they can have intermediary ledgers, all sorts of things.
So in a database, you basically need a way to distinguish between public and private. That is a coding thing.
It's a coding thing.
To do with the,
it's a coding thing too. It's got nothing to do with, it could be for confidential information, right? Like your client, your person on your station or whatever, she doesn't want all her details out on a public ledger.
Exactly.
Like anyone can look at it. If you had your details, how much is your bank account and your age, you want, there's a part of the ledger that can be private and it's coding and you don't want your information disclosed. I mean, think about Coinbase. All their information got disclosed. Now they're at risk now if they're in crypto because people know in the world of thieves who owns crypto.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about crypto's worth a shitload in years to come, which it will in the next couple of years. You could be arrested, like you could get murdered or attacked. You got to be really careful. Don't tell people you own your crypto.
Yeah.
Keep it safe, man, because people. This is what I'm saying. You need privacy even within the ledger. Not all information can be public, like your personal details or who you're married to and all this, your religious whatever. I mean, crikey, that's dangerous if that's out in the public.
Oh,
Look at the Jews and the Nazis, man.
I remember when I first got an XRP. Oh, the market flipped green. The market's green. Well, XRP's right here. Guys, I remember when I got in crypto in 2017.
And coming to a big bull market, next year's going to be huge, guys.
It's going to be huge. And XRP shot to $3.
Sell your XRP. Don't sell anything. Just wait.
It shot to $3 in a matter of days. XRP shot to $3 in a matter of days.
386, I remember it.
330, 333 on 1/4.
I don't know what it's traded there, but on my exchange in Aussie, maybe it was in Aussie dollars.
And that was with no on-demand liquidity. Imagine when cases settled this time. $10 first day. Not a financial advisor.
Hey, by the way, I've got to go.
All right, Sue, I love you. Thank you so much, Sue. You're the best.
Hey, VeChain is another one. There's a heap of stuff to look at. You're on the right track with VeChain.
Okay.
It's a gift, baby. It's a gift.
Oh, it's a gift. Guys, you know what else is a gift?
I'll tell you a few others. IOTX is a gift.
Okay.
𝕬𝕗 is a gift. 𝕬𝕗. I mean, cheap coins out there in different areas, in different sectors. Cheap as chips.
Yeah.
Anyway, I better go, darling.
So I got you. I'm going to take care of you with the super chats they sent.
No.
I got you. I'm going to take care of you. I wrote them all down.
Money is not my mantra. People and animals are. Please keep that up. You deserve it.
Well, the animals are going to get some treats for Christmas.
I will not take a cent from you, Joseph. No way.
Make sure you guys subscribe to my buddy Sue, guys. Please subscribe.
You know what? Every time I get on your channel, I get more subscribers, and I get more money that way. And I'm really happy.
Guys, can y'all make sure you please subscribe? Help me out here with Sue. Subscribe.
I love coming on your show, but I would never take a cent from you, young man.
Oh, Sue, I love you. You're so amazing.
You have too much integrity.
There's Sue's link right there.
I'm old school, babe.
Before you go, Sue, everybody is here saying I love you. Team Green, I love you. We love you, Sue.
I love you too.
Much love, Sue, from Liz.
Bring
Everybody's saying they love you.